Oh, Tashitele. Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. And welcome back to the Lojong teaching session. So today, before we start the teaching, we take a few moments to uh, do some collective practice of recitation of some meaningful mantras, as usual, like last sessions, and keeping in the heart of our compassion, understanding what's going on in this world in relation to the suffering that caused by natural disasters around the world and the suffering from diseases such as pandemic, then the suffering that caused by political uh, mm, uh, political issues around the world. So we all are quite aware what's happening around the world that put so many beings into so much suffering. And also keep those people to whom you know, whom that you heard, who have seen that they are in difficult time with physical and mental sufferings, financial difficulties, relationship problems, people who, those who pass away, due to COVID, due to any form of diseases, including of those people who have requested prayers from me, who to whom that you do prayer for them, such as those people who pass away, in particularly last 49 days, like such as June Murray, Nyon Thi Kang, Nyon Thi Ke, Tran Thai Hong, Nyon Thai Tam, Nyon Thai Moi, Kui Benze, Nyon Wen Nam, Pursa Kai, Shang Shu Sheng, Grayson Xiong Xie Xiu, Te Yek Xiong, Chi So Chung, Lu Yong Kon. So there's some of the names that requested prayers from me. And there are also some other names that requested prayers but do not wish to share their name in public. So also include them. Then there are people there who are going through a difficult time with different form of obstacles like health, etc. Like Nyon Tai Tang, Suki, Harban, Liu Xiaomei, Albert Einstein, Rhodes, Dawn, Sacha Christenko, Vicky Rodna, Elena Dozeko, Chris Price, David, Leong Yong Chen, Dr. Lee, Geshe Tinle, Madam Wong, Madam Chen Mi Larang, Jude Karen Ford, Lan Shanghai, Donna Bat, Kan Kim Seng, Rachel. Yeah, and also for the dead, Geshe Seten Tashi, who also recently passed away. So keeping all those in our heart and do this practice together. And from your side, specifically dedicate to your family members and friends, with this collective energy, so that the prayers will be very effective. So before doing that, we take refuge in Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha, then generate altruistic motivation. Sangye Jodan Zoje Jonala, Janju Bado Dane Jazoje, Daje Zoje Bezonamje, Dola Benje Zanje Drubarajo, Sangye Jodan Zoje Jonala, Janju Bado Dane Jazoje, Daje Zoje Bezonamje, Dola Benje Zanje Drubarajo, Zanje Jodan Zoje Jonala, Janju Bado Dane Jazoje, Daje Zoje Bezonamje, Dola Benje Zanje Drubarajo. Sanje Jodan Zoje Jonala, Janju Bado Dane Jazoje, Daji Zoje Bezonamji, Dola Benje Zanje Dubarai. Kange Doze Nezone, Dawa Damje Pambejre, Dambejene Denzebe, Godam de la Jaze, Lo, Tony Ninja Sundo Jube Lama, Seje Zenjo Kanje Dendugue, Chana Bemo Denzen Jazola. Sowa Devzo Daju Jinje, Lo, Semje Damje Dewa Dan, Deve Judan Demra Juji, Semje Damje Dunga Dan, Dunga Judan Tawa Juji. Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewa Dami Dawa Juji, Semje Damje Nire Jada Nidan Tawe Danyola Nebra Juruji, Semje Damje Dewa Dan, Deve Judan Demra Juji, Semje Damje Dunga Dan, Dunga Judan Tawa Juji. Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewa Dami Dawa Juji, Semje Damje Nire Jada Nidan Tawe Danyola Nebra Juruji, Semje Damje Dewa Dan, Deve Judan Demra Juji, Semje Damje Dunga Dan, Dunga Judan Tawa Juji, Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewa Dami Dawa Juji. Semje Damje Nire Jada Nidan Tawe Danyola Nebra Juruji, Jadongolo Jube Jabada, Jendo Kabada Bazanjit. Kala Gande Dela de Dembe Zumba Jere Zela Jaze Lo Om Mani Peme Hum, Om Mani Peme Hum, Om Mani Peme Om Mani Peme Hum, 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 Om Mani Peme Hum. Om mani beme, om mani beme, om mani beme, om mani beme, omo ahum benzer guru bema sidi, 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 omo ahum benzer guru. Oma benzer guru bema sidi, mingme zewe derjen jere ze, teme kembe ombo jambe yang, dupo mali jumze sanwe da, kanche kembe zuje tsonga ba, losan tabe shala sowa. Mingme zewe derjen jere ze, teme kembe ombo jambe yang, dupo mali jumze sanwe da, kanche kembe zuje tsonga ba, losan tabe shala sowa. Mingme zewe derjen jere ze, teme kembe ombo jambe yang. Dupo male jonze sawe da, kanche kembe zuje tsonga ba, losan tabe shala sowa de, mingme zewe derjen jere ze, teme kembe ombo jambe yang, dupo male jonze sawe da, kanche kembe zuje tsonga ba. Losan tabe shala sowa de, mingme zewe derjen jere ze, teme kembe ombo jambe yang, dupo male jonze sawe da, kanche kembe zuje tsonga ba, losan tabe shala sowa de, mingme zewe derjen jere ze, teme kembe ombo jambe yang. Dupo male jonze sawe da, kanche kembe zuje tsonga ba, losan tabe shala sowa de, mingme zewe derjen jere ze, teme kembe ombo jambe yang, dupo male jonze sawe da, kanche kembe zuje tsonga ba. Lojong tabe jala zo wan de ming me zewe derjen jere se de me jebe ombo jambe yang dobo male jumze sawe da kanje jebe zoje zonga ba. Lojong tabe jala zo wan de. Dare do dare dure zo ha, 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 dare do dare dure zo. Dare do dare dure zo ha, 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 dare do dare dure zo. Dare do dare dure zo ha, tayata beganze beganze maha beganze beganze ranza samoga deso. Tayata beganze beganze maha beganze beganze ranza samoga deso ha. Tayata beganze beganze maha beganze beganze. Raja Samoga de Soha, Tayata Beganze, Beganze, Maha Beganze, Beganze, Raja Samoga de Soha, Tayata Beganze, Beganze, Maha Beganze, Beganze, Raja Samoga de Soha, Tayata Tayata Beganze, Beganze, Maha Beganze, Beganze, Raja Samoga de Soha. Mare Jamam Soha, Mare Jamam Soha, Mare Jamam Soha, Mare Jamam Soha, Mare Jamam Soha. Mare Zamazo, Mare Zamazo, Dage Javatam Jeda Jabayala, Sambe de Nige message to Bala Mechino, Tajachung, which is to Jumizu, Sunday Semelaju. Jibagole, you do Jadozo Javade, you do those Jama to Judge to watch Jamaleva de Ezala, Gobra Show, Jambebawa, Chitajamba, Kundo Sambode, and the city, the Dakunjus Dalos. Java data damje rabdongo, desoje be Java damje dengo, galan chodongo ba da je jeve zawa de gonje sambo je rabdongo raje semje ne ba chenye ba nyodo ne le da je to wen ne ma le ba da do jo me bara e jo. Be dan zo wa mi ge be shen no ba za je semje ra wa gonje be samba che shin de be da shi sho. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so we start the teaching. And we are still studying from the great collection of Lojong treatise, a classical text. And at this stage, we are studying Dhammarashita's, the mind training text, the title, The Peacock Neutralising of the Poison. Or in another word, the peacocks roaming in the jungle of virulent poison. If you are using the same kind of volume, then we are on the page 165. And today we will go through verse 60, page 165, verse 60. Yeah, so so this verse, this chapter, so there's a 5 chapter in this text, and this is the last chapter, which is the concluding teachings in relation to the earlier chapter. So this chapter, the main focus is on the antidote that is produced by the means of the union of wisdom and method to eradicate the wrong view of self-grasping ignorant and wrong attitude of self-cherishing thoughts. And in connection to this topic, there is a few verses which emphasize the practice of preliminary practices or preliminary teachings, then followed by the actual teachings or the actual practice. And this particular verse is a very organized, structured guidance how to how to take Lojong practice in the form of a retreat session or in the form of sadhana session, sadhana practice. The practice that which has the element of preparatory preliminary practices, then then the actual practice of the true altruism, that which actualize on the basis of gradual path, on the basis of proper lamrim structured, preparatory practices to take the main body dharma or the main body dharma of the Mahayanic path or the main body dharma practice of the entire 84,000 Buddha's teaching into a into a daily structured meditation retreat, meditation sessions, or daily structured sadhana practice, like that. So, in earlier, many of the texts and all the verses that we have covered, not only in this text, but also in other texts, very much, giving very much teaching the to understand those varieties of negations and to know and to understand the direct or the specific antidotes, and as well as the general antidotes to those negations. In its own how to say specific targeted practices. But then Lojong practice, like Lamrim practice, Lojong practice, any practices that we can take into a very concentrated, dedicated form of practices, like such as a retreat, such as meditation, such as sadhana. And this verse, this chapter provide such a guideline. Yeah. So like that, okay? So, so I would say that until verse 65, very much, preliminary or the preparatory practice. And that preparatory practice also divided into two sections. After verse 63, verse 60 to verse 63 is very much, preparatory in the form of the external, creating the external environment oneself to take the Lojong practice into retreat or the session or the sadhana practice. Then verse 63 and verse 64 and verse 65 very much actualizing the preparatory practice in relation to structured lamrim, lamrim as a base, lamrim as a foundation, foundation preparatory practice. Then verse 66 onward, very much, taking into the actual, the sadhana or the actual practice of the sadhana or actual practice of the retreat or the actual practice of the meditation. So verse 66 to verse 66 to verse 66 to verse 75 very much focus on the meditation on the method aspect of the path or the bodhicitta aspect of the path. Then verse 76 onward until to the last verse, verse 88, very much focus on the wisdom aspect of the altruistic practice or the wisdom aspect of the Lojong practice. So just to give you a rough idea of this chapter. And today, I think I hope that we can cover at least the preparatory part. Then we will continue the rest from next session. So, so the chapter 5, the peacock roaming in the jungle of virulent poison. Again, each time when we see this title, we have to get reminded, we as a samsaric being, and through the Lojong techniques or through the Lojong practices, meaning through the practice of bodhicitta and emptiness, that one going to transform the entire, samsaric experiences, onto the path to develop the true altruism and eventually to actualize the Buddhahood. You see, so like the peacock, who has the iman, who has the armor or who has the iman to digest the poisons, then roam in the jungle of virulent poison to nurture, it is well-being and it is good characteristics. So similar way, even though we as a samsaric person, but then with the wisdom and the method of Lojong, or with the wisdom and method of altruism, then while we go through the karmic consequences of this samsaric existing and samsaric experiences, from birth to the death, and all the experience in relation to our 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 consciousness, our senses, everything to be able to transform those from the method and the wisdom from the method and the wisdoms, bringing benefit of purifications of the samsaric existence within oneself and others, and actualizing higher qualities of the stages of the Bodhisattva's path all the way up to enlightenment. So if we don't do that, then in any way, we roam. We are samsaric existent. We roam in the samsaric experiences. Then every samsaric experiences, going to destroy us, eliminate us, make the situation worse, like the crow, roaming in the jungle of virulent poison. By consuming the poison will cause destruction, will cause life. So similar way, the Lojong teaching is very much for us to making sure that that we we take the full advantage of where we are, which is in the samsaric existence, by taking the samsaric existence onto the path with the true altruism. So like that. So whenever we read the title, it's good to reflect on that. Then homage to Lord Yamantaka, again, is reminded the theme of the practice, or the main antidote of the samsara, and it is causes the delusion, the root causes the self-grasping, ignorant, and the self-cherishing attitude. The main antidote is the emptiness. Then that emptiness manifests into the Buddha form or deity form, then which is the Lord Yamantaka, So specifically mentioning Yamantaka, that we can take Yamantaka into as a condition to the practice, and also Lojong practice is a very flexible, that can, there's not kind of restricted, to only to practice one-sided or the one particular practice. Lojong practice is so flexible that if the practice from the Tantra makes more relevant, then you can, while practicing the common Mahayanic Lojong path, that you can emerge your practice into Tantra. You see, then while practicing Tantra, by utilizing the common Lojong techniques, then the tantric practice also take on to the the Lojong aspect of the practices. You see, so therefore, even though the main teaching is the common part of Mahayanic, Kausalyana, but then still lead the teaching with the Mahayanic resultant yana, which is the Vajrayana, by mentioning the Lord Yamantaka. So that shows the sign that teaching can be very flexible, or can be unified practice. So verse 60. Okay, so now the first preparatory practice. Verse 60 to verse 62 is very much the invocations of very much all beings, all kind of beings, the beings from the samsaric world, beings from the the spiritual world, including Buddhas and deities. Then the beings from the samsaric world, including those harm givers and spirits, etc. Um, so at the preparatory stage, you invoke all the beings from the various realms of the self-existent, including from higher spiritual realms such as those of the Dharma protectors, arahats, bodhisattvas, Buddhas, and some of these invited beings invite as an object of your generosity, the practice of your generosity. So some of the beings are invited as object of making offerings. Some of the beings you invited as object to witness, your your commitment into the practice. So so here, those of you who are familiar with the Chod practice, the cutting practice, the Chod, the tantric, the very famous Chod practice. This part of the preparatory practice is very similar that when you perform Chod practices, these practices are also happened as a preliminary, as a preparatory practice. And at the same time, similar way, we can also take as a preparatory practice to the common part of Lojong, or the mind training practice. When you want to do a very serious, a retreat, or the sadhana practice of taking bodhicitta and emptiness into an effective, a dedicated form of practice, then, if you do this, it become, most beneficial. So that's why, these are emphasized here. So verse 60 says, "You who harbor harmful intention and are consumed with the hate, you who are of the dark force, all of you appear before me. Millions and billions of flesh-eating and blood-drinking demons appear before me in front of these mortal beings today." You see, so harbor harmful intention. So any being from the silent existent, it could be human, it could be non-humans, it could be physical, non-physical living beings, who through one's own past karmic connection, that they are born to be intended to cause harm to you. So there are many like that, and there are also humans, non-humans, form and formless beings who again, connection to our past karma, that they are in real time consuming with hate. They're in real time, harming us. Real time, giving us obstacle. Real time, conditioning us to get sick, conditioning us to get fail from businesses, conditioning us to break a relationship, conditioning us to fall into including experience of death, etc. There are such beings. All these are due to the result of our own past karma. We have been conditioned to them like that in the past, from beginningless lifetime, due to the ignorant, wrong view, and due to the self-cherishing attitude. Because of that, due to the delusion, we create so much of such karma in the past. Then, even within this lifetime, even while we are taking, human rebirth, which call as the karmic result similar to the cause. So we have done like that in the past. then even when we take, human rebirth, all these misfortunes that we can count, we can remember, we fear for, everything, has its causes, has its karma, and those karmas are, no one initiated it. Oneself have initiated in the past. So that's why we're experiencing this experience in this life. So it's talking about that. You who are of the dark force, or these are the dark forces in your life. All of you appear before me. So now you invite all of them. Invite all of them in your present. So now we are talking about this section, as I mentioned before, retreat, sadhana, very dedicated meditation practice. So when you usually as a Lojong practice, there's not necessary that you need to have a kind of structured design retreat place, retreat hut. Wherever you are, that's the right place for the Lojong practice. Not like the deity yoga practice that it require very exclusive places, exclusive time, exclusive environment. But Lojong retreat, Lojong practice, you don't necessarily need that. But if you have such environment, then you can use them. So let's say that you're going to take this Lojong retreat in your prayer room, in your own home, where there's already got altar, where they already got cushions. So then you set up all your altar properly, like how we usually commonly do, and then after that do 3 prostrations, then sit down on your cushion with the meditation posture, all the 7 Vajrayana meditation posture, if you like, or otherwise any sitting that you prefer to. Then after that, then you do this thinking, you do this, you visualize, you mean it and you visualize, you understand the how karma works, you understand, you recognize, you acknowledge, our present life as a samsaric existence, samsaric person, which has immense of flaw, immense of purification is needed. So then, in order to take those purification effectively, then now you invite all these forces, all of you appear in front of you. So you visualize them. So you visualize them. If you are courage enough, then like how during the Chod practice, really the main purpose is to really to hit atom bomb onto the root concrete cause of all the samsara it is causes, which is a self-grasping ignorance, the wrong view and self-cherishing attitude. So you need a very, very strong antidote, very drastic antidote, very focused antidote, you see. So that's why the Chod practice we call Dagzin Charche. You see, Dagzin means self-grasping, wrong view or self-grasping ignorance. Charche, Char means very drastically, very, very, very focused, very dedicated, very drastically. Charche means cut. You're going to cut the bondage from, or you're going to cut the chain of self-grasping attitude and self-grasping ignorance and self-cherishing attitude by such a drastic preparatory practices like going to the cemetery. For ordinary people without any such practice motivation and capability, you'll be frightened going to cemetery, isn't it? You see, so when you do Chod practice, you not only go to the cemetery, you try to go to a cemetery, if possible, where there's a dead bodies are still there, where there's dead bodies are still cremating, in particularly in Tibet and Himalayas, they go to places where the dead bodies are, right there, freshly there. Then they the practitioner go there in the middle of the night, in the darkest period, middle of the night, like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 1, like 11, 12, 1, 2, during that period, is the darkest period. uh, Even from the natural force, the low spirit, lower spirits, like such as dead people's spirits, such as the harmful spirits. Why you call the dead people's spirits low? Because of comparing to the spirit of light person, when die, then the spirit energy drops. That's why I call low spirit. You see, so lower spirits and harmful spirits, they are more active in the dark time. From the 24 hours, there's a section of starting of daylight, like a dawn time. Of course, when we look at from our eye, it's the darkness, but from 3 o'clock onward, very much start the daytime. You see, the daylight. You see, so then like 7, 8, 9 is a dark, but it's just conclusion of the daylight. You see, so the real darkness period is like 11, 12, 1, 2, this period. You see, so so the practitioner, practitioner go there and remain around this period. Then not only that, the practitioner carry those implement that not only to remind your understanding of death and impermanent, but also the substance that which can attract, a substance that which can extract like spirits, like such as like the Thai bone horn. You see, Thai. So specifically Thai. Specifically the Thai bone horn called gangling. Then damaru. The damaru that which covered by dead animals, dead beings, leather. You see, so then you blow from that gangling, then using the drum, that draws, that draws those spirits to invoke. It will help to invoke them. You see, then there's a there's a meditation, there's a chanting and meditations stage by stage. From crown to toe, you really visualize all the basis of self-grasping attitude, all the basis of I, all the basis of a self-centered attitude, the ego, the wrong view, you see, such as 5 aggregates. Then in particularly the visible aggregate, which is the physical aggregates, without the emptiness understanding, we very much, we very much believe that you are very much that whole of these physical aggregates, isn't it? You see, so when you destroy the basis, then naturally the subject that which clinged onto that, it also departs. It also it also, how to say, it also destroys. So by doing so, the self-grasping get hurt, self-grasping get eliminated, or destroyed. You see, so therefore there's in the Chod practice that's called Yulu Tsokso. The in through the visualization, you actualize, the illusory, visualize your physical aggregates. Then from crown to toe, you're cut into pieces. You're not, you see, Yulu Tsokso, you see, is a visualized physical object. even though you still carry the physical object, you don't really go and cut your own real physical body. That's not supposed to do. So you need to visualize. You see, so it's like imaginary, illusional. So in another word, in visualization, then you really cut crown to toe into pieces. Including like your organs one by one. You put as a tsok, like tsok offering. Then some as a charity, charity to those like such as the harm givers, blood drinkers, then some as a it's just like the organs and physical body flashes is like a tsok. Then the blood and pus is like the nectar. When we do usual tsok offering, there's a nectar, there's also a meat, isn't it? One is like a meat form of tsok, another one is the nectar form of the tsok offering. All the liquid you make as like a nectar, all the physical one you use as the meat aspect of the tsok. Then through your visualization, using the emptiness wisdom, then you really actualize the blissful tsok, or to the object of our respect, like the refuge objects, etc. So that's why, as mentioned before, in the preparatory practice, some beings are invited as an object of charity, some beings are invited as an object of offering. Then there are also some beings that who don't have a direct karmic kind of repaying the karmic debtors. Some they appear there as a witnessing your practices. Then the lower beings, they understand the faults of self-grasping. Then those higher beings, they will rejoice in your practice. So like that. So for the chair practice, it's like that. So now, for the common part of Lojong practice, you through visualization, you feel, you have a conviction that they are really present in front of you, like that. You see. Then millions and billions of flesh eatings and blood drinking demons, millions and millions, numberless sentient beings, to whom we have created karmic debtors. You invite all of them. There could be numberless. For the chair practitioners, if you go to that kind of places, then the entire space is completely filled with this, numberless like flesh eaters and blood drinkers. You can even hear, you visualize that you really hear the sound of their existence. And in many places, in such kind of places, you literally hear, literally start to hear the sound. My late master, Geshela Mukonjo, during his the meditation in the third cave, every night, middle of the night, there's nearby, there's a cemetery. The villagers, when people pass away, they bring there, and some they cremate, but mostly, especially those who poorer people, they just put inside, the rock. They just put it in the middle. Then they put the rock around. And some they cremate and they build a stupa. Some they put there, then they build a stupa out of it. So it's quite a frequent, cremating place. So Geshela used to travel, middle of the night and remain there. As I mentioned, the timing, during about 2-3 hours of period, Geshela conduct church. He has been practicing for many years, 10-15 years, and especially during those 8 years of that he has some disciples who are nearby conducting retreats. So they witness that Geshela be there then whole night, during that period, some of them, they also follow those who can. So very loud, chanting with the tune, very intense practice. Then some of the people, some of the disciples who follow there, they literally hear screaming, the sound of sound everywhere, screaming sounds, the noises, like conversations, even though there's no other people there. You see, then you see some kind of flashing lights. Then you can also witness there's a steps. People have walk. So there's a particular steps that they can determine that it is the steps, it is the footprint of the spirits, even though there's spirits no physical body, but then through their energy they left the print, so they call it spirit footprint. You see, so those who expert in that, they know exactly what are the spirit footprints. So they witness around where they did the church, where Geshela did the church. There's all surrounding area, there's like hundreds of footprints of spirits like that. So yeah. So for me, even daytime, I scared to go there. Yeah. So you see, so those are so drastic, so powerful, so drastic to really smash the self-grasping, wrong view, ignorant, wrong view of self-grasping ignorance, and self-cherishing attitude. That's why these practitioners are so successful of realizing emptiness directly, so successful in totally let go of self-cherishing, you see, so completely actualize the altruistic bodhicitta, become bodhisattvas. Yeah. So practitioner like me, not possible, you see. I mean, talk so much, but then so much grasping, so difficult to let go things, let go thinking, let go of worries, let go of what happened in the past, let go, and let go of the attachment to your body, etc., etc. So even how much we chant, everything is so much comfort, is so much comfort, and that comfort itself is attachment, is grasping, you see. That shows, how how seriously stuck in the muds of very thick glue of self-grasping, ignorant and self-grasping attitude, self-cherishing attitude, that shows. So difficult, know so much, but when talk about realization, so hard. So you see, so when we think of this amazing practitioner, then unbelievable, there's no question, why they are so successful in realizations, you see, because this self-grasping, self-cherishing attitude never like discomfort, never like, because it worries them. It concerned about, it will harm my body, it will harm my comfort, it will harm my happiness, me, my, So, you see, so when these practitioners do that, it's really kind of like slapping back, to the self-grasping, self-cherishing attitude, you see. Or you ask for this, I will give you that, So that's why these yogics, when they practice such a harsh places, can imagine, no question about the rest of the other practice. Even what I know, the people like my late gurus, including my the aunties and my great uncle, like how they practice the harshness is like no way I can do, no way, just thinking about it, you're scared, the discomfort, the place, the food, the clothes, the environment was so harsh. Even though how much you say how holy it is, how holy cave it is, how how serene it may be, outlook, but when the night falls, wow, so scary. You see, so much self-cherishing, but they are so successful because of why 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 they go into that kind of difficulty, this kind of hardship, is not because of they have no opportunity to stay comfortably. It's because of they want to challenge the self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. Because of that, you see. So this is a great example. So millions and billions of flesh-eating and blood-drinking demons appear before me in front of this mortal being today, talking about yourself, okay, yes, okay, like that. Then verse 61, very similar. Appear before me, oh assembly of gods, assembly of gods. So these gods are talking about holy gods within the god realms, the gods of desire realm, gods of form realm, gods of formless realm. There are many degree of gods, they're talking about that. Then nagas, nagas in the land, nagas in the water, nagas in the plant, nagas in the rocks, trees, nagas in the air. Nagas in the fires, etc. There can be many different types of nagas. Then yakshas, again, yakshas is talking about like meat eaters, blood drinkers, etc. This, smell eaters. You also invite all the pretas, spirit, pretas, like pretas, like people who just pass away, those who have not taken any of the particular six realms beings. Those are wandering spirits. Those are also can include as a smell eaters. Then those specifically the hungry ghosts, called the smell eaters. Then demigods, demigods. Then belly corollars, also another type of spirits, called belly corollars. Then countless hungry ghosts who roam the skies, or who roam the sky. Is not talking about the sky, earth and sky. It's talking about in the space, in the environment, the space environment. It could be space environment, the empty space in your stomach, empty space in your mouth, empty space in your room, empty space in your cup, empty space in the environment. So there are numberless, countless, hungry ghosts, like that. And the elemental spirits, like this, like spirit in relation to fire, water, earth, wind, space, elemental spirits. Then the spirit spirit of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There are certain that kind of spirits. The spirit in relation to sun, spirit in relation to moon. Like that. Then. Then all such spirits which are karmic debtors to you invite. Then verse 62 is a similar, simultaneously born gods. So simultaneously born gods is simultaneously born gods and sage, obstructors, false gods, and the 18 great possessors, the she demons, all the action gardens, as well as the noble ones, such as three jewels, stand before me. The simultaneously born gods is called conital deities. which karmically, when we first time conceive, then it born together. So any living being, human or non-human, anybody, the moment you take rebirth, the moment you conceive, when your previous lives consciousness enter into the present lives basis basis of aggregates, basis of physical aggregates, the father mother's substance. So that time there's a two, regarded the two spontaneously born gods, actualized. One is more negative side and one is more positive side. So those are simultaneously born gods. You also invite them. Then you invite all the sages, great scholars, great sages. Then also invite obstructors, the bringer of the obstacles. Any being, any being that who bring obstacle to you. Then false gods. So false gods. So there are certain spirits, they have the capability, and they specifically come and cause harm to you by imitating as a beneficial gods. Like some being even imitate as a deities. They even show their faces like a deities, like meditational deities, but actually they are spirits. They came to harm you, but they show in the deities form, and then some they appear as a protector to whom that you used to rely on. They show in that kind of faces, then come and cause harm to you. Come to lead you to wrong path. There are cases that false god occur when someone is walking, let's say near the river, walking near the cliffs. Then suddenly there's kind of someone in the form of, even in the form of a human being, you get hallucinated, and suddenly you thought that one good human being that to whom is leading you, but actually lead you to fall into the cliff, lead you to fall into the river. It happens. Then sometimes when you visit your altar, suddenly like flash out like deities images, but then actually not the deity, actually is the false god or false spirit, that happened to it. It could happen anywhere else. So I remember there's one student, always claimed to see Yamantaka. She said, I see Yamantaka. So I say, don't talk about it, and then she keep emphasizing on that. So through little analysis, very much is actually is a false god. This spirit of false god actually is harming, is causing that hallucination to that person. Then I didn't see my own eye, but then I heard, and there are people that that who was walking along in a proper road, but it's near the cliff. Then suddenly lead to fall, someone leading to fall. There's nobody there, but the false god appear, and like that. Then there's also cases when some people drive, the false god make them go to the wrong directions, or the wrong sides, get into accident, etc., like that. So that's why it is important for us to be very mindful, not to get hallucinated. You see. Then the 18 great possessors. So there are 18 different type of. Specifically, they not all the spirit has capability or has interest to possess into people, but there are 18 great 18 demons spirits. You see, they specifically go and harm you by possessing into people. Possessing into people. You see, then you see again when such a spirit possess, again they hallucinate you by claiming for you to acknowledge them as something very beneficial things. They carry the name of some close people of you, etc., etc. You see, so therefore you see, when we receive initiation, when we receive high secret tantric initiation, we were given the secret name. You see, either individually or either someone representing, during the high secret tantric initiation in the mandala, that you throw the stick. Then after that, by falling into whatever direction, then you are given the name according with the 5 Dhyani Buddha. And if you happen to receive your main meditational high secret tantric deity's initiation, then that should you hold as your secret name. But you haven't get chance to receive your main meditation deity's high secret tantric initiation, but you receive other high secret tantric initiation. You can still keep that as your secret name. You can still keep that as your secret name. And next time when you receive your actual main deity's high secret tantric initiation, then you can change to that secret name. You see, and that secret name you're not supposed to share with anybody. You can share with your Vajra Guru, and you can mention when you do the sadhanas if required, especially when you take initiations, like self-initiations, then you can mention it. But otherwise, you don't simply talk about it. You don't simply, write down. You don't simply share around, you see. So now, when you feel something strange, like the false god, like such as 18 great possessors, there can be many 18 great possessors. Demon can be also the wandering spirit. An example, can be wandering spirit, or can be elemental spirits. But there are spirits that those who are those who specifically go and harm by possessing into you. So when you encounter such kind of strange things, then you ask that person, you ask that possessed being, what is your secret name? If that spirit able to say the correct your secret initiation name, then that means if that possessing claim that I am your deity, I am higher being come to really to bless you, then it's true one. But if that spirit don't know your secret name, then that straight away you conclude this is a false god, or this is like such as could be one of the 18 great possessors that came to harm me. Then immediately you try to do, if you practice deity yoga, then you do self-initiation, or you at least meditate on emptiness. Then you arise into the self-deity and hold on to the divine pride of a deity. Can be Kalachara, can be Yamantaka, Vajrayana, whatever you can be. Or if you don't have any initiation, immediately you refresh your refuge in Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Or you refresh your refuge in your guru or dharma. Dharma. It can be even like holding onto scripture, any of the like scripture like Lamrim, Lojong, or Manipeme Hong or Kanjur Tenjur, or any your sadhana book or your picture of your guru or the deity you hold, you place on your crown, or you just hold at your heart. Then you place your 100% refuge into that. You see, and that way those false gods, those 18 those spirit that come to possess you will leave from your aggregates. You see, then it cannot harm you. So those are the techniques. So this good to know. Then if sometime some spirit possess, the person become unconscious. So the people around them can help. People around them can help the possessed person. Again, if the possessed person can still have still conscious, conscious in the sense that still can communicate, even though the energy is really weakened, but still communicate. Then you ask the secret name. So secret name, either of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Even though you don't know that person's secret name, but you most likely understand what are the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. You see, so one of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas' name be mentioned to you. You see, so then from there you can understand if something is possessed. Then the technique to help the person is to put the holy objects. To put holy objects. Then there are also many other ways. Usually the possessors, false god, and in particularly the spirit possessors, they say enter either from crown, either from the back, your neck, then from your ring fingers, and from your feet ring fingers, hand 2 ring fingers, here a crown. You see, so if it's a harmful spirit, and if again and again come to possess to somebody, then you try to first capture them. Capture them. Then you pacify them. So the way to capture, you see, you put a hat onto that person. You put a hat onto that person. If possible, maybe blue or green or black kind of hat. If you have, if not, then any kind of hat is fine. So you put on the hat. Then after that, you tie, like green or blue or black, or if not, any kind of string, you tie onto the ring finger, you tie onto the feet 2 ring finger also. So somehow the energy can be able to, capture them, by doing that, somehow the karmically it designed that way, to be able to capture them. Then they can start, most likely the possessors, demons and spirits, usually once they capture, they start to reveal, they start to talk. You see, so you almost can communicate with them, like asking, who are you, where you're from, what you want, this, and what will satisfy you, all these basic questions can be asked. So then, so you so if one of the possessor can be a dead spirit, and the dead spirit, the wandering spirit, which their past life can be religious practitioner, can be Buddhist, can be Hindu, can be other religious followers, can be free thinker, and those spirit can able to reveal them. So if it's a Buddhist, then you use Buddhist scriptures like statues, stupas, scriptures, And in particularly since they reveal who they are, roughly you may know, maybe they could be from the same group of practitioners, or they may have the same guru. Then you like showing guru's picture, then you put onto the person who possess onto the crown, then ask that person to make a pledge that will never to enter again. And then whatever the person, mostly is due to attachment or aversion. They come and possess, which is very much again also is they are kind of like a debtors, who come to harm you by the past karma. So you roughly know, then you can fulfill them. Some can be fulfilled them by giving foods. Some can be fulfilled them by giving refuge. Some can be fulfilled them, giving refuge and giving them like teaching on emptiness, then giving teaching, like showing the path for them to not to attach. It is harmful to you. You rather, transit from this the life of spirit and rather take rebirth. So you guide them. So it's very much like you are teaching, teaching on the detachment, teaching on letting go, and pursue, higher rebirths, like that. Then the very simple and easy way is, you put a script holy object, then you ask the person to be under the refuge of the guru, refuge of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Then Buddha Dhamma Sangha will guide you. Just follow them. So that way. Then after that, then most of the possessed spirit will speak. Then they agrees. So once they agree, then you release. You take off the hat. You take off all the strings. Then you release them. So I witnessed that. I witnessed 3-4 people that who really possess. One I witnessed of the possess the person is I think more like a Hindu follower, and the spirit the possessor is also a religious one. It's a dead people's spirit, but it's a religious one. And that spirit enter into that lady. Well, the lady was, outside. There's a water tap, so she was washing her hair. So while she was washing hair, the spirit enter from the neck behind right after the border of where there's a hair and there's flesh at the neck there. So enter from there. The spirit even says from where she entered. Where he entered. Actually, the spirit is the he. And so the lady, poor thing, the lady after washing, then went into the room. Then she locked the door. Then she was using kerosene stove to cook. So after the spirit possessed, she collapsed. Her cheek went onto the stove, like that. Luckily, when the cheek went to the stove, the fire was extinguished, and luckily the stove was quite small. The kerosene, I think, luckily not that much, so that even the kerosene, the air was like finished fast. So she was after that she was unconscious for some time there. So then later, quite few people. So I happened to witness that. So I have to go and open. So then try to use all those techniques. So I knew how to use all those techniques. So use these techniques, and she woke up and she revealed where coming from. Nearby that lady's house. Her husband is working in one of the kitchen society kitchen, and So where they live, near there's a trees. Then the spirit say, almost, almost all the time, he used to, live on the tree and watch over her. Then that day she was washing her hair, and he attached to her and enter from there, like that. So after that, he left. So anyway, so so there are such kind of things. So my main point is to give you idea. So the giving refuge, putting holy objects are very powerful, like that. The she demons, she demons, it's the here in this in this line, the she demons and all the action gardens. She demons, you can refer to those Arya beings, Dharma protector, like such as Pandit Lamo, Mm. Then all the action gardens is assistant protectors, like those non-Arya protector gardens, can refer to that. Then as well as you also invite the noble ones, such as refuge objects, like three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, or all stand before me. You invite them. Okay, so this up to this part is who are the guests that you invited? Okay. So then now you roughly know, Buddha, Dharma, Sanghas will be sitting on the altar area. Then rest of the others are surrounding you. Since there's numberless, the entire space is completely filled. And you are alone in the central. Now you want to smash your self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. So verse 63, it says, thus, in the presence of all samsara and nirvana, present today to bear witness, I shall recount here without the slightest wavering the most expensive tale of my pledge. So listen to me, you see. So this one is, this verse announced to the guests, invited guests, that what you're going to so you announce them what you're going to do by inviting them as a guest. You are you're expressing what you're going to do, what's the purpose of inviting them. So you see, so in the presence of samsaric, all the samsaric beings, nirvana including refuge beings, present today, please be my witness. So I shall recount without slightest wavering, so without any kind of doubt, my decision, the following practice that I'm going to do, without the slightest wavering, to most expensive tales of my pledge. This would be the my most serious, my final, and once for all. You see, the last pledge that I will ever make, that which will make sure that I get rid of the entire root cause of samsara, and making sure from this pledge onward that I will actualize the greatest benefit of enlightenment for all sentient beings. So please listen to me, or something like that. Then after that, verse 64 is the verse 64. It says, thanks to its conditions, my virtues of the past, today I have obtained human life endowed with the 10 opportunities. This is the most wondrous. But day and night pass with no result. Why am I not enjoying the glory of benefit and joy today? So this is the Lamrim. This is the Lamrim teaching. So this verse is reflecting on how karma works, how karma affects in this life and next rebirth, and also reflecting on the preciousness of this human life, also reflecting on the nature of impermanence of this life, this precious life, and also understanding and making a unwavering a decision to make this precious life in most meaningful way. So you see, so that cover the entire Lamrim teaching. That entire Lamrim teaching. I think all of you very familiar with the entire Lamrim teaching. So almost entire Lamrim teaching is in here. Especially the small capable beings part and the middle capable beings part specifically focus on the verse 64. Then higher capable beings part specifically focus on the verse 65. You see, so so first you reflect thanks to it is first you reflect on the the precious human rebirth, that what you have today, by reflecting on the causes and conditions that you have actualized in the past lifetime. You see, thanks to its conditions. What are the conditions? Conditions and my virtues of the past conditions and the virtues, such as observations of the moral ethic in the past lifetime. Moral ethics such as practicing 10 virtues, practicing individual liberation vows, practicing samayas, like Bodhisattva precepts, tantric precepts. It could be any of them. One of the conditions. The second condition is practicing generosity. Like could be generosity of material gift, generosity of protection, generosity of dharma, etc. that you have cultivated in the past. The third condition is you made a aspiration to be born as a precious human rebirth, where you can able to conduct the continuation of your spiritual development. You see, so those are the conditions and virtues of the past, and one should be thankful for that. One should understand that. So because of those conditions and virtues, today I've obtained human life endowed with the 10 opportunities. You see, the endowed with the 8 freedoms and 10 freedom, 10 opportunity was a 8 freedoms and 10 endowments. 8 freedoms and 10 endowments. You see, like such as 8 freedoms, such as free from being born in the hell, hungry ghost, animal, free from being born as a barbarian, free from being born as a long life god. You see, then born with, free from being born with a wrong view. Then free of being, so being, you see, free of being born at that, when there's Buddha's teachings, when Buddha's teach, when enlightened beings, enlightened beings, not being born during where Buddha didn't where Buddha didn't came into existence. So we are born in the where Buddha exists, where Buddha came into existence, isn't it? Then free of being born from deaf and mute, etc. Those are the 8 freedoms. Then 10 endowments. Having been born as a human being, also being born in where there's a dharma, in the central regions. Then also, we equip with all the absolute complete faculties. Then also our lifestyle that does not conflict with the spiritual practices. Then not only that, we have faith in the dharma. So those are the 5 endowments that found within oneself. Then the 5 endowment found with the external circumstances, like we are born, when Buddha has appeared in this southern universe. Then not only Buddha appeared, but Buddha have taught, Buddha have shared the Dharma, then even Buddha have shared, but Dharma already no more existing. Then again, unfortunate, but Dharma still exists. Dharma is, abundance, you see, exists. Then not only that, not only Dharma lectures are going on, Dharma books are out there, but there are people who listen to Dharma, then people practice, like us, we try our best to practice the Dharma, isn't it? So these are the very important environmental endowments. And then not only that, due to the Dharma we learn, due to the Dharma we practice, we are generous to each other, we are kind to each other, a lot of good examples, of the impact of teachings, So these are the endowments, So the such endowments and opportunities, freedoms that what we have is thankful to the past karma that we have, past condition and virtue that we are accumulated. It's talking about that, So one should reflect on that. This is most wondrous, So this precious human rebirth is so meaningful, so meaningful. You see, so meaningful. It is so meaningful. But then it lies in the nature of impermanent, But day and night passes, you see, lies in the nature of impermanent. And not only that, if we are not appreciative about our precious human rebirth, how rare to be obtained when we refer to the past lives, past cause and condition and virtue, is so rare to observe pure moral conduct, so rare to practice generosity, you see. So we have so much distractions. So if we are not mindful, then during this pace of, in the nature of impermanent of life, we may waste entire our life with no result, with no result of meaning of life, which is to actualize all the stages of the path and enlightened, you see. So saying, why am I not enjoying the glory of benefit and joy today, So you have to make it very, very clear that it would be completely wasted while obtaining this precious human rebirth if you don't practice the Dharma, if you don't practice the bodhicitta, if you don't practice the emptiness. This precious, how precious it may be, it will be fully wasted. Not only that, you wasted the effort of our past lifetime that accumulated to actualize this precious human rebirth, but we fail to take the meaning of the precious human rebirth, So we have to think like that, you see. So like what Shantideva says, take advantage of this human boat, free yourself from sorrow's mighty stream. This vessel will be hard to find. The time that you have now, you fool, is not for sleep. You see, so it's not time for us to be lazy. It's not time for us to, get distracted. It really, this precious human rebirth need to put full force into the cultivation of Dharma and actualize the realization on the stages of the path, As I mentioned before, some of the practitioners, how Milarepa, how hardship, how hard work he have done, including in our lifetime, like our gurus, how hard, how hardship that they have put to actualize liberation, you see. So we cannot waste by get distracted, like what Shantideva says, not for sleep, not to waste our life, like that. Then verse 65, with a pure aspiration, I will transcend the householder's life, discarding selfish desire. I will clad myself in aspiration and engagement. Finding the supreme thought, I will bear the burden of others' welfare. Entering the noble path, I will nourish myself on the supreme bliss, So this is specifically from the Lamrim teaching, focus on the higher capable beings path. And not only that, this is the motivation, this is the main motivation why you want to take the unified practice of bodhicitta and emptiness, the Lojong practice that we're going to discuss later, the main practice, you see. So the first two lines is very much talking about the the practice of generating expressional bodhicitta. The second two line is very much talking about generating the engaging bodhicitta, you see. So with pure aspiration, which talking about the pure motivation of aspiration of bodhicitta, aspiration of bodhicitta, such as the thought of for the benefit of numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. From now on, whatever, from now on, I dedicate my entire life for that purpose. You see, at least everything I do, I will initiate with the motivation to actualize the temporary and ultimate well-being of numberless sentient beings. So this is a pure aspirational thought. With this pure aspirational thought, what are you going to do? I will transcend the householder life. So what are you going to do? Why you have this aspirational thought? What impact that you need to actualize having this pure aspirational motivation. The impact should happen is transcend the householder life, and discarding the selfish desire. Then one should clud in the aspiration and engagement. So that should happen. So here meaning I will transcend the householder life. There's an interpretive meaning and definitive meaning. You see. So the definitive meaning here, transcend the householder life. Definitive meaning here is talking about you renounce the worldly lay life, and you become ordained, like become nun and monk. 24 hours, entirety of your energy, everything, your body, your speech, and your mind, everything, rest of your life, entirety of your life, you dedicate for the well-being of numberless sentient beings, not targeting, few particular people, like your wife, your husband, your children, your mother, your father, not just like that. Equally, there's no one particular special being. Every numberless sentient being equally take as a special, like special responsibility of your care for their concern of the well-being. By discarding the selfish desire here, discarding the one-sided compassion, one-sided love, one-sided desire, to the well-being of, limited beings. It could be just yourself. It could be just your family members. You see. So when you talk about becoming sangha here, in particularly, even though the monks and nuns' life, the individual liberation vows holder, they are from the tradition of Theravadan. They are also from the tradition of the Mahayana and the Vajrayana. So from the tradition of the Theravada is very much focused on self-liberation. You see. So, but in this teaching here, Lojong teaching, it has to be based on the Mahayanic teaching. So therefore, here the sangha you are referring to, whoever want to become a house, whoever want to renounce householder life, want to become monk or nun, then you have to discard this selfish thought about only caring about yourself for now, and even you have to discard the selfish thought of the self alone liberation. You even have to renounce that. Then you renounce that by wearing the by wearing the sign, the reminder, the cloth, myself, of my body, speech, and mind in the altruistic aspiration and altruistic engagement. You see, meaning you wear the robe. Generally, wearing the robe is the changing of the sign from the lay, from the householder life to the ordinary life. The physical sign. You see, and you usually, generally, in the individual liberation precept, individual liberation, ordinary sangha understanding is focused on self-liberation. You see, the moment you see the robes, the moment you wear the robes, the moment you change your robe to the sangha robe, always remember of the liberation, nirvana. You see, nirvana. Whenever you speak, whenever you say something, everything to do with the discourse of the Dharma, that which focus for the nirvana, for the liberation. Whatever thought, the changing of the, first changing of the sign is the name and the cloth. You see, you change name to the Dharma name, that which has the call for liberation. Okay, the robe is the sign for liberation. Renounce the samsara and sign of liberation, reminder of liberation. Now change the speech is no idle gossip, no wrong speech. Always talk about Dharma. Always have the speech of Dharma. You see, which are the accumulation of wisdom to the liberation. As far as concerned, then the thought need to change. From that very onward, you cannot regard that I'm a lay person, I'm a householder person. You have to regard that I am a sangha. I am an ordained person. I am a renounced person. Renounce means renounce the worldly life. You see, meaning you always have to remember your objective is to actualize nirvana. So this is the general, anyone that who become sangha, general understanding. But when it comes to anybody that who become a monk or nun in relation to the Mahayanic tradition and Mahayanic Dharma, now you see, the robe that you wear, it has to have the element of altruistic aspiration and altruistic engagement. You see, now you wear the robe, you renounce household life, and you motivate to get ordained for the benefit of numberless sentient beings, full enlightenment. Dedicating your life equally to rest of the numberless sentient beings' well-being up to full enlightenment. From that onward, no one should be limited, like a special segregated, beings in your life. Everyone has to be equal. So that understanding has to happen. So whenever you wear the robe, you have to remember the Bodhisattva's aspiration and Bodhisattva's conduct. Whenever you speak, whenever you talk, you have to talk about the altruistic dharma. Altruistic dharma. Then aspire for altruistic dharma. Whenever you cultivate and think, you think of the well-being of numberless sentient beings up to the actualization of the full enlightenment in every single numberless sentient beings. So that is the definitive. So now the interpretive. No, sorry, I think I said the wrong thing. So whatever I said now is interpretive. Okay, so now the definitive meaning of renouncing householder's life is renouncing samsara, renouncing eight worldly concern, renouncing delusion, and aspiring liberation. Aspiring liberation. So this is the general aspect of the path. Then it's specifically for Mahayanic Dharma. Then renouncing, on top of renouncing samsara, renouncing erotic concerns, renouncing delusions. Then specifically, renouncing self-cherishing attitude. Renouncing self-cherishing, selfish desire, self-cherishing attitude. Then you aspire the full enlightenment, and you engage. Your duty is to engage in the Bodhisattva's conduct. Until every single numberless sentient beings actualize state of full enlightenment, like that. So finding the supreme thought. So after you find the supreme, after you actualize. You actualize the aspirational bodhicitta, in your system, then I will bear the burden of others' welfare by entering into the noble path. I will nourish myself on the supreme beliefs. So the engaging Bodhisattva's conduct is I will bear the burden of others' welfare, entering the noble path. So entering the noble path is living a life in accordance with the sixth perfection, practice of sixth perfection, which is entering the noble path by bearing the burden of numberless sentient beings, well-being all the way up to enlightenment, is engaging in the Bodhisattva's deeds, which is living a life in accordance with the guidance of the six paramitas. You see, so living life in generosity, living life in morality, living a life in the patient, joyous effort, concentration, then wisdom. Wisdom, you see. So like that. So in particular, the six paramita also, there's a common aspect. Then specifically, the Mahayanic Bodhisattva's aspect. You see, so Mahayanic Bodhisattva's aspect, on top of the general practice of generosity, like generosity of material, generosity of Dharma, then you have to attach the third level, the generosity of working for the well-being of sentient being. The morality, morality, you see, so again in the morality, there are many different moral practices. So one of the practices, morality of working for the well-being of sentient being, you see, or then patience for the well-being of sentient being, joyous effort for the well-being of sentient being, concentration for the well-being of sentient being, cultivation of wisdom for the well-being of sentient being, you see. So that way, then one will nourish, one will develop the gradual stages of the 5 parts of the Mahayanic Dharma and the 10 bhumis of the Mahayanic Dharma, Mahayanic 10 bhumis. Then will actualize the supreme bliss. The supreme bliss is Buddhahood. Full enlightenment is the supreme bliss. This is how you motivate. So in order to achieve up to that supreme bliss, the real engagement of the practices, now whatever we have discussed in action, is following verses. The method aspect, the bodhicitta aspect of the Lojong practice, and the emptiness wisdom aspect of the Lojong practice from the verse 66 that we will discuss in next class. Yeah, so today I will stop here, okay? Yeah, so we dedicate the merit. So whatever merit we accumulate through this session, and all the merit that we accumulate in the past, in the future, and all the merit that accumulated by past, present, future Buddhas, Gurus, and all the good people, May it be complete cause. Numberless sentient beings actualize freedom from all oceans of samsaric suffering. It causes karma and delusion. May this collective merit be complete cause, this pandemic to be over, and the cure be effective and actualized. May this collective merit be complete cause. Anyone who are suffering from this pandemic, who are suffering from any form of other diseases, other obstacles, may they be free from that and actualize lasting happiness, long life, fulfill all their aspirations up to enlightenment accordingly. Also dedicate this collective merit be complete cause. Anyone who passed away from this pandemic, anyone who passed away from natural disaster and pass away from any form of samsaric experiences, in particular in last 49 days, including those names that I mentioned at the beginning. Be free from the hallucination, suffering of death, suffering of intermediate states, suffering of rebirth, actualize higher rebirth in pure land. There they actualize their full enlightenment within that very lifetime. May this collective merit be complete cause. All the frontliners, doctors, nurses, whoever, and the carers, who care for sick people, suffering people, may they have all the protections. May they have good health, long life, fulfill all their aspirations accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. All the world leaders, the leaders of the organizations, leaders of the institutions, leaders of the family, and yourself who lead your life, be free from negative emotions and actualize full of wisdom of selfless and attitude of loving kindness, compassion, so that anyone under the leadership can able to enjoy peace and happiness and virtue. May this quality merit be complete cause. All the good people in this world, like such as Hisunatara Lama, Lama Subramanian, all the your spiritual gurus, and all the good people, like yourself, your family members, have long life, good health, fulfill all your aspirations accordingly. May this quality merit be complete cause for all the virtuous institutions, like nunneries and monasteries and the Dharma centers, including your Dharma journey and your altar room, your Dharma projects, everything. Be free from inner outer secret obstacles and actualize all the conducive conditions to preserve the Dharma in extensive learning and actualizing all the stages of path according to full enlightenment. May this collective merit be complete cause. May we able to practice the Dharma, the Lojong, as how Dhammarashita have taught, what Buddha have taught, in most extensive, serious, focused way. How all the realized beings have actualized the benefit from Dharma by taking the full essence of this precious human rebirth, which is so precious, but at the same time it is so fragile. So may we be able to achieve the meaning of life by attaining realization within this very lifetime. Or whatever ourselves and the merits and the purpose we dedicate, all lies in the nature of emptiness. Yeah, then I recite this some dedication prayers. So please individually you dedicate this collective merit in a collective environment, through you, with the collective merit from all of us, specifically dedicate to your family members and yourself and whoever. It will be so effective. You do that, so you can do that now. Jawade Nudo the Lama Sanji do Juna Doaji, Maleva de Zala, Gobara, Chanjo Sanjoran Bojamaja, Banam Jiju Jawani Bama, Gone Gondo Peva. Tony Dawar and Bojamaja, Banam Jiju Jawani Bama, Gone Gondo Peva, Jeremia Dawar and Bojamaja, Banam Jiju Jawani Bama, Gone Gondo Peva, Carrera Vico, on the pen and the Wamaleju. Cerezewa Denzin Jazo Jabese de Bado Denguro, Tozo Jango Jave, the Zinjo Conso Dobo, Chozo, Lemeto Badaso de Jeb, Kondo Shabde Pharmacy, Jetam, then using Rotam Jetato, the Chanjo Semacana Sujo. The Dagonja Molando Jojes and Geneva, Virginia, but you don't let you do any name, Malubatato, Juan, Member Jabe Powich, the Chambata Kundo, somebody and the Dagonji to Dalos. Jawa de dadam jerab do ngo de zon jebe Jawa dam je de ngo kana ju do ngo ba de da je jebe zawa de gon je sambo chu jerab do ngo wara je do na ba de nam ye ku de ke zo de tam be sa de da te be ji da ma da da Lojong jebe de dan je wara ju je wa gun do yang da lama da chame che je be la long ju je sa da lam je de rab do ne do je chan je gon ba myo do jo 좀 de de je ba ra ju ma yang da ba zo be san je na ma na zo je je ba la cha zo su ba zo ba ju ku do sam ba la cha大家都不是这不的那种，都在么就是大家都不是这不的那种，都在么就是大家都不是这不的那种，都在么就是大家都不是这不的那种，都在么就是大家都不是这不的那种，都在么就是说中间地址吧，这么样的吧，做不上去，民间那边都结不了，就是中间地址吧，这么样的吧，做不上去，我他妈让他这都结不了，掐着了。民众在这家园进了的，等这路外面别等把他结了上，那边都那么大，没那个都去。denpa chi ten kamsu chumpa to denpa nyiwe chi to sawa tenze polo chi to denpa yure nepe tashi shu nimon dele tsendele nime koyan dele chi ninze dato dele pe kunjo sumje tashi shu. Okay, thank you very much. Take care. Take good care of each other. Take good care of yourself. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. See you.